Hello everybody, and welcome Guardians to the Age of Triumph Reveal video review. So the purpose of this video is to review what happened on the Bungie live stream a couple hours ago. I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope that if you enjoy what you see here, you will consider liking, subscribing, and following me on Twitch and Twitter, as well as here on YouTube. Moving on, let's get right down to the business. The big news, Age of Triumph will be released on March 28th. We don't know what time, but for now, it's safe to guess at weekly reset, and at the latest, probably around 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern Time, about noon Pacific Time, which is about the same time Iron Banner and Trials tends to start. But we don't know for sure what time, just the date, March 28th. The two big features of the Age of Triumph are an Age of Triumph record book and the weekly featured raids. That's what we've got so far. It seems that we're going to also have a weekly ritual, but that hasn't been covered. That's scheduled for the next week of stream. So let's go into the raids first. Big news, all raids from Destiny 1 will be remastered into director's cuts at 390 light, the same as the current Wrath of the Machine hard mode. In Deej's words, these bad guys are pretty bad again. The first featured raid will be Crota's End, which will debut with the Age of Triumph on March 28th. The second featured raid will be the Vault of Glass, which will make its first appearance on April 4th. The third featured raid will be Kingsfall, which will debut on April 11th. The fourth featured raid will be the Wrath of the Machine, which will debut on April 18th. Once they debut, we will continue to be able to play the new 390 light version of the new raids. Up until then, we'll be able to continue playing the current existing hard modes. Now, some encounters will be tweaked so they move faster and are a little bit less frustrating. The example they gave was the frustration of the Oracle section of the Vault of Glass taking 10 minutes, coupled with the chance that you might wipe on the last Oracle. So they sped that up so that you've put less time into it by the time you may or may not have failed. Expect similar small changes throughout the raid, the adjustment of the position of a totem or something like that to make it a little easier to complete the raids and just have more of a flawless experience. We also will see some glitch fixes, and we also will see some of the cheese being removed from the games. A few examples were given. For example, no more shooting oracles from up top. A very common cheese, makes it very easy and very quick, but also much less interesting an engagement. On the other hand, some glitches and cheeses will be left in place. For example, in the Vault of Glass jumping puzzle, Notch Boss is confirmed. For those of you who don't know what Notch Boss is, you will. Okay, moving on, the raids all feature revamped loot. Not a lot of that loot has been detailed, but we know there will be a 400 light Vex Mythoclast. Further, they said that all loot will drop at 400 from the weekly featured raid. Hopefully we'll see things like Division of Confluence as well, and Fatebringer. We also know that all raids will now offer both Ghost Shells and Sparrows. Up until now, only the Vault of Glass and Crota's End had Sparrows, and only Kingsfall and Wrath of the Machine had Ghost Shells. Now, all 4 of the raids will have both. Revamped raid armor will have 2 ornament nodes. Now, what I understood was that you will be able to earn the revamped raid armor anytime that the raid is available to play, but that you will only be able to get the ornaments to drop during the time that that raid is one of the weekly featured raids. Moving on, one of the early frustrations in Vault of Glass and Crota's End was how unrewarding the experience could be. You could play the whole raid and end up with just shards. We even had a phrase for it. You were sharded on, Guardian. Well,
Can't use the tagline the live team uses, but it's generous as heck.
Generous as heck. Okay.
I was going to say frick.
Okay,
Frick is a good word.
Whatever
Generous
profane
as frick.
substitution you prefer, it's as generous as that.
the loot tables have been adjusted. Expect more drops than we currently get from the raids, and this should make it a lot easier to obtain full armor sets, for example, and to gain those emblems. Moving on, let's get into the record book. If you've gone through prior record books, there are no new mechanics as to how they work. There are 13 pages in the record book, which is the largest record book ever in Destiny, and each of the pages appears to offer an emblem for full completion. I'm going to go through the different pages, starting with page 1, Rewards. There are 7 ranks of rewards, and in a change, you will only have to reach about 75% of completion of the book in order to achieve rank 7. A relief, since it's the largest record book ever in Destiny, and some items are challenging, like a Flawless Trials card. Ranks 1 through 6 are emblems, while rank 7 is a t-shirt with the Age of Triumph logo and your gamer tag. You will have to go and buy the t-shirt once you reach rank 7 on the Bungie store. Page 2 is commemoration, stuff you did historically in the game, like actually completing activities during the vanilla portion of Destiny, so back in 2014. These are affected by your current Guardian, so if you had a Guardian back then, and then you deleted that Guardian and started over, you will have lost the ability to complete some of these activities. It's all about having been there from the beginning. Page 3 is the story. It really is talking about completing all the story missions and quests in Destiny. So if you've already done that, all of those should be complete as soon as you boot up and load in on the 28th. But if not, it should give you a pretty quick to-do list on finishing all those out. All of these are account-wide, so if you finish them on your main character, my main on Xbox, for example, is a Warlock, but didn't finish them on your Hunter and Titan, you will still have the achievements from your Warlock, your main character. So moving on, page 4, Titan's Will. This is about completing milestones as a Titan, such as reaching level 40, killing enemies with your melee, and killing enemies with your supers, stuff like that. These are the same. There's one called page 5, Hunter's Way, and page 6, the Warlock's Path, which have the same type of completion nodes as you saw in the Titan's Will. So again, that's reaching level 40, killing enemies with melee and supers, a few other things. The Crucible questline for the class, those things. Page 7 is Strikes. And what this is going to look at is the number of strike completions, Nightfall complete in a time limit, which I think if you completed the Sunrise bounty, you should also be completing this Nightfall node. Precision kills during strikes, revives during Nightfalls. There's about 8 items here, so you should be able to complete this pretty readily. Most Destiny players should be able to do this. Moving on, the Crucible. Just the Crucible, not Trials. Now, Strikes and the Crucible, these are all things that you have to do starting on launch day for the Age of Triumph, starting March 28th. So if you have thousands of strike completions, you've won thousands of games of Control, those aren't going to count. You're going to have to play all that stuff again come the 28th. Raids. That's page 9. And most of these are about completing the new versions of the raids, collecting the emblems. There's one in there about killing all the Gorgons in Vault of Glass. I'll repeat that. Killing all the Gorgons in Vault of Glass. Fun stuff. If you're a big-time raider, you should be able to finish most of these. I think only a very few people are going to be able to kill all the Gorgons in Vault of Glass. Page 10 is Collections. This is just collecting stuff. So collecting a certain number of shaders or ships or sparrows. Now, the main thing that you're going to want to keep in mind here is if you had a shader and you deleted it and now it's in your kiosk, it still counts, sort of. So for example, if I am looking for ships, you'll note by looking at my character here that I only have 9 ships on my character at this moment. So what I'm going to have to do when Age of Triumph comes out is I'm going to have to pick a character and head over to the ships kiosk. Now, looking through here, you'll see I have these can only hold one at a time. I have them. A lot of these others are unlocked. As it turns out, I have pretty much, with the exception of Nano Phoenix, I think all the legendary ships unlocked. And when you look through them all, that ends up being 76. I don't know if it's going to count the Eververse and promotional ships, but I do have those. Right now I have 76 unlocked ships. So what I'll have to do in order to get one of these to count is go ahead and acquire it. And now having that in my inventory will let it count towards the completion of that node of the record book. It's going to be a similar situation for sparrows. You see here I have the Vault of Glass sparrow equipped, and it'll be the same for shaders and emblems. Page 11 is entitled The Wanderer, and this page is designed to reward explorers. This is going to include things like finding dead ghosts, SIVA clusters, public events, disturbing the remains, stuff like that that you just poke around and find little hidden things in Destiny. Page 12, Allegiances. This is earning rank 25 in various factions. There's an emblem for each faction you reach rank 25 with. The factions covered include the Vanguard, the Crucible, Future War Cult, Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, the Cryptarch, and Lady Aphrodite, aka the Iron Banner, rank 5. Most of those will just work as soon as you get in. However, I'm wondering about the Iron Banner. You may have to obtain rank 5 in an Iron Banner after the Age of Triumph drops. We'll find out. Trials of Osiris. This is the last page, page 13, and this includes items like Flawless, Wrecking Ball. There is a category for kills with special, kills with heavy, and kills with primary, a category for revives, and what looked to me, they didn't highlight it, but a category for finishing Trials card or finishing Trials matches. I couldn't tell which. Now, again, this is account-wide. If you have gone Flawless once on your Warlock back in year 1, that'll count. And also, you don't have to, there are 7 items to complete on this page. To complete the page, you only have to complete 6 of them. Flawless and Wrecking Ball are pretty hard for a lot of players to get. I'm really happy I've already got those out of the way myself. Otherwise, the grind would be real. A lot of the nodes represent things that your characters have already done over the course of Destiny. For example, reaching rank 25 with Tower Fractions. So if you erase a character that has achieved those goals, you won't get credit for achieving those goals. That means that in some cases, you won't be able to get credit at all for achieving those goals. If you've deleted all your characters that you started the game with back in September 2014, you can't go back in time and recreate those characters, and that data is lost. So I would advise you not to delete any characters, especially characters on which you have high achievement right now. So that is super important. Also, going back to pages 4, 5, and 6, which are the Titan, Hunter, and Warlock pages, if you load in the game with a Titan, and you'll see all the Titan stuff completed, but you won't see the Hunter stuff completed or Warlock stuff completed. That's okay. Don't freak out. Just load in with your Hunter. You'll see the Hunter stuff completed. Load in with your Warlock. You'll see the Warlock stuff completed. Just load up each character, and the history of that character will populate the content of those pages. That's pretty much it for me. I want to thank you once again for watching. I hope this video helped some of you, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming up. I did want to give a general impression. So far, the Age of Triumph appears to be exactly what I expected. It's going to breathe some new life into the game, and it's going to be a load of fun for me playing my favorite game until Destiny 2 comes out. I hope this video helped some of you, and I want to thank you very much for watching. There's all my info. You know what to do with it. Twitch.tv/Tergaia, Twitter @Tergaia, and here on YouTube, yt.tergaia.com, instead of the big jumble of numbers you actually see on my channel page. Comments help immensely as a way to support the channel, as does spreading the word. Retweets or telling your friends or posting in groups that I've done this is really helpful. So please, that is all helpful, and it helps me get motivated to make more. As always, I want to conclude by saying viewers make the stream, they make the channel, they make this possible. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you Starside Guardians.
From the day your ghost woke you, your light has been our beacon. You defended this city from the worst the darkness sent against us. Atheon, Crota, Oryx, Axis. When you are called on, you will do it again. The city's children tell your story to each other. Pretending to be guardians, they grow braver and more powerful with each retelling. They are no longer afraid. You have shown them, and you have shown me, what it is to hope. You have led us to a new age, Guardian. An age of triumph and remembrance. Today and tomorrow and every day, you fight for us. You fight for the traveler. You fight for those who fled here from 1,000 nations looking for refuge. We thank you, Guardian, and we will never forget.